Alright, so here's a quick update on the Franken Ford. I'm calling it a Franken Ford because I'm taking parts from 3 different cars, at least, maybe 4, to create my dream 66 Ford Fairlane hot rod. Okay, we've got a Comet Cyclone, Dino Don Nicholson's Comet Cyclone 1965 AFX Mercury. Got a 1966 Ford Fairlane GT GTA, and we've got a 66-67 Dino Don Nicholson's Eliminator 2 Mercury Cyclone drag car. So essentially you've got 3 different cars that are originally unibodies. Now this one's the only one that actually has a frame under it. This has the unibody with the bolt-on front suspension frame. This is actually welded in, but all of these were unibodies. The first unibodies were the I believe not the Comets, but the Falcons, the Ford Falcons and the Ford Mustangs. I could be wrong, but I know they are unibodies. At any rate, I'm taking parts from these 3 cars and perhaps a 4th one to create a hot rod. Now what I've done here is I've built the 427 for the Eliminator 2 because it's got the blower and air inductor. It's also got a rear aftermarket gas can, the old beer barrel kind of gas can, and it's got an actual frame under it. But this is the chassis from underneath of the 65, and these are the bucket seats. I'm not sure which interior I'm going to put under it yet. I'm going to build the chassis from the 65 and build the chassis for the Fairlane and build the chassis. Now I may not even waste time on the Fairlane's chassis because I know it's standard street stock. So I'm going to build the chassis on the Eliminator 2, see which one gives me the best look overall. I'm taking the tires out of the Eliminator because the tires that are in this AMT repop from PLR2 POS, they're just junk. They're styrene tires. I hate when they do that. I've got to tell you, this Eliminator is a cheap kit. It has very little detail, very, very little detail. It's a very simple, basic kit. The 66 Fairlane's more involved, and the Comet Cyclone from Model King / Schmobius Models is even more involved and has better detail. As you can see down here, the engine and transmission are separate. This is the intake for this 427. They're both basically the same engine, but I'm going to have to go with this setup because it's got the blower package. Now, I'm using the rear end off of the Cyclone 2, but if one of these has a 9-inch Ford, I'm going to use the 9-inch Ford. I may use the rear end out of the Eliminator because this has the old, I'm pretty sure this is the 8.5-inch Ford rear end, because I'm pretty sure that the 9-inch had the not only the dropout pumpkin, but it had a plate in the back as well. It could be, I could be wrong, it's been so many years, but I've worked on Fairlanes, Galaxies, and Fords since 1978. Yeah, when I was 16. Anyway, this is where I'm at. I got company. I will come back. Okay, and I'm back. So anyway, we got the 2 427s. We got the 3 different suspensions. I'm going to most likely use the 65 Comet suspension. Virtually all of these are very close. This one will fit. I've already checked it. With the Fairlane, as you can see, I've got this red front and rear windshield. This came with the Dino Don's Eliminator 2. I'm going to try to use it. In fact, I already test fit it inside the Fairlane. It fits. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay some gold laminate over it, and then when I light the car, I light it from the inside with super bright red LED, so it'll help set off the red. I'm going to be lighting the tail lights and the front lights. I may even do a blinker setup, I'm not sure yet, but I'm definitely going to do most likely engine sounds and smoke. At any rate, this is the hood from the Eliminator 2, with just a little bit. They're so close in body style. In fact, I would say they probably styled the Fairlane first and then used the clay model, the original clay model, to add some slight differences to make the Cyclone or the Eliminator, because they're very, very, very close in style, as you can see. I mean, they look really close to being identical with small variations. They did that a lot. As you can see, between the 65 and the 66, 67 Eliminator and the 66 Fairlane, they're all very similar body styles. The basic box, the 60 era basic box. But this is when Ford really got into racing. 64, 65, 66, and on until about 69, 70, 72. They started cutting back on all of the big cars about the time right after the fuel crisis back in the 70s. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. So they quit making hot rods, full frame, big muscle cars. They just quit making them. Anyway, there will be more to come on this. I will show you intermittent build photos and or video. More to come.